So we have the Hobbywing 8bl150 Quicrun 6S 150 amp, and we have the Easy Run Max 8 G2 160 amp. £70, £100 in the US, it's about the same in dollars. So £30 or $30–40 difference. Which one should you get? They both run 3 to 6S. Let's have a closer look. As you can see, size wise, they're pretty much identical. Similar width, similar length. The G2 is slightly higher, but not much. Both have beefed up capacitors, and they do say that there should be no need for extra capacitor cap or a cap pack on these, which is nice actually. Capacitors compared to the old Max 8, and I've got the Torx 185 are a lot beefier, a lot bigger, so they should handle any kind of ripples or anything like that a lot better. They both have an upgraded fan and cooling system in here, which is meant to keep them a lot cooler. Both have IP67 waterproof. They're both programmable via the program card. Neither of them you can program by the buttons, and both have 6.5 inputs for your motors. When it comes to settings, you can program both of these pretty much the same. The only main difference is the punch settings, and all the normal LiPo settings, things like that, are exactly the same. This has settings so you can increase the timing of your motor. This actually has turbo feature on it, which is quite a nice feature, which means you can increase the timing of your motor, but you can also delay that as well. So say you want to delay the timing and the increase in power for a couple of seconds when you're going on the straights and you don't want it coming on in the corners. And why would you pay the extra money for this and not just go for this? Well, the Max 8 G2, the main difference is obviously it's a censored ESC, so you can run this with a censored motor, which gives you a bit more of a linear acceleration, a bit smoother. For racing or for speed runs, then that's a good thing. But for bashing, do you really need censored? In my opinion, probably not. It's a nice thing to have, but you don't need it. I'm going to be running both of these sensorless, and we're going to compare these on similar cars and see how they perform. The other main difference is the Super BEC in this. So in the Quicrun BL150, you can go up to 7.2 volts, which is still pretty damn good. You know, if you've got a servo that will take that extra power, then, you know, rather than running it on the normal 6 volts, you can turn that up, which is great. My servos in both cars are identical, and they both run up to 8.4 volts. So on this one, obviously I can run it up to 7.2, but on this one, on the Max 8 G2, it's got the new Super BEC, which you can turn up to 8.4 volts, which is fantastic. So that's really going to increase your fan speeds. It's going to increase your servo speeds. So the Max 8 has an upgraded fan as well. As you can see on here, maybe the fan is actually slightly bigger on here, and it's meant to be a better fan on here, give more air cooling, and like I say, it'll run at 8.4 volts as well, so it's going to give you a little bit more power. And they have redesigned the actual cage of this as well. It does look quite nice. In essence, the Quicrun 8bl150 is very similar to the old Max 8, but with some improvements, definitely. The Max 8 G2 is very similar to the old Max 6, but again with some improvements. Is it worth the extra money? That's the biggest question, I think. I think if you're running just a normal stock RTR, you're not upping the gearing, you're not wanting to go super fast, you're not doing something mental, then this is just going to work just as fine. And the combos on this are really good value as well. If you're wanting to mess with settings, if you're wanting to run censored, if you're wanting something that's going to take a lot more abuse, then I'd probably go for the Max 8 G2. The other thing that you can do with this as well is you can link this up to a Bluetooth module as well. So if you get the Bluetooth module or the new Hobbywing program LED card, then you can look at telemetrics and things like that, and you can have a look at the temperatures and the speeds and things like that. So there's a lot more you can do with this. But in my opinion, they're both very good ESCs. The Quicrun ESC for the price, I think it's the best budget 6S ESC on the market at the moment, and it's still got that Hobbywing branding, it's still got that quality. But we're going to put these into similar cars, we're going to give them a run in this video, and we're going to say side by side how they perform. For mounting, both of them have the 4 holes here where you can mount them. These mount directly onto, say, the Corrali, absolutely no problem at all. The Armours they'll mount onto. Obviously the Traxxas and things like that, it's going to be slightly different. Just one last thing as well, just I suppose in some people's minds who don't like soldering, the Max 8 G2 comes already with your XT90s actually connected, so there's no soldering needed doing anything like that unless you're running different connectors. The Quicrun 8bl150 doesn't come with any connectors, so you do have to solder on yourself. So let's get these into some cars, let's give them a test and let's see what we think. So let's test these ESCs. So we've got the Corrali Asuga running the cheaper 150 amp Quicrun, and then we've got the Corrali, well, it's a mixture anyway of everything, Coronas, Kagama, everything, running the Max 2 G2. As you can see, we've got the Max 2 G2 in here, running sensorless, fits in there nicely. And then we've got the Quicrun 150 running here, it fits nicely in there. Right, let's get these powered up. I'm going to do some tests. I'm going to do low end modulation, see how slow we can run them sensorless. Then we'll do some power tests. I'm not going to be able to do a speed test, unfortunately, because I've lost my Sky RC speed tester. But as you can see, the similar cars, Suga's got smaller wheels, but we're running both on 6S. So let's see how these do. So let's start off with the Asuga, with the Quicrun. And let's see just the low end modulation on this. See how slow we can get it to go. I'll get that straight away. And this has got a 17 tooth pinion in it as well. And that is really nice low end modulation, is that? Really controllable. And it's not quite censored, but it says senseless. That's not bad at all. Wow, that's really good. I'm really actually impressed with that. Let's try the Max 2 G2. This is a 15 tooth spur, so not as big as the Asuga. Everything else is stock, gearing wise, so let's see how this does at low modulation. Oh, actually not as good. Well, the more expensive ESC, and it's got a smaller pinion in it. With a smaller pinion, the 15 tooth pinion compared to the 17 tooth pinion on the Asuga. I mean, it's not bad, but it's a little bit stuttery. Okay. It's not bad, but it's not as good. So the cheaper ESC is better at lower modulation on sensorless, but it is a sensorless ESC. This is a censored, so maybe that's what it is. Hey, it's not bad. So let's have a look at performance. We'll see how this one rips first. Acceleration, oh, very good. Oh, very good. Whoa. He tanked it. I had to save that then. But the acceleration on this ESC does seem a little bit delayed. Maybe it's me. I was watching a video by DoRC and he said there's an issue with the Max 5 G2. Max 5 G2 running sensorless. That it does that on mid acceleration, and I'm wondering if it's got the same issue as the Max 8 G2, whereas the acceleration just is a bit, see what I mean, see what it's doing, and it might need that update. That's a bit bad because you have to buy the Bluetooth input to update this. See, it's just stuttering and it's not over geared. Apart from that, it does seem responsive. See what I mean? It's got that sound there. It's got that little bit of a stutter. Right, let's put this to one side and we'll try the Isuga. Definitely better on the acceleration. 100%. Oh, that's a lot better. So I'm wondering if it does need the update on the Max 2 G2. Ho ho! That is a lot better. A lot better. The difference is like chalk and cheese. So I'm wondering if this does actually need the Max 8 G2. Definitely needs that update, which is a bit bad because that means I'm going to have to buy. So I'm kind of going to stop this test right now because this isn't running properly, and I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more. I know it's not the overgearing because it's undergeared compared to the Isuga. Also, the overgearing is absolutely stock on it. There's no reason why it should be doing that stuttering, apart from it's an issue with that firmware, and that firmware needs updating. So we're going to have to look at that. We're going to have to see what we can do. It's a bit of a shame. This video, the cheaper 150 amp Hobbywing Quicrun wins. As you can see, that is running absolutely perfectly fine. It's a cheaper ESC. It's more responsive. It's better at lower modulation. Obviously, I'm running this at sensorless as well, the Max G2, which is a censored ESC, but they are advertised as censored or sensorless. So it's not like I'm running it how it shouldn't be run. So yeah, I think I'm going to end that video there. I will probably do a short video once I find out what the issue is, and also if I can update the software and if that does work. So back home now, and as you saw, we're having real issues with the Max 8 G2. Just to confirm, there's nothing wrong with the car that I was using. I was using the same transmitter for both with the same receiver, so just switching between cars, so that wasn't the issue either. The motors were exactly the same. Both had very good batteries in them, so it really is an issue with this Max 8. Like I said when I was out, we're gonna look at the Bluetooth module, so we're gonna have to look at a way of updating the software on this, and then I shall come back and we'll see if that makes a difference or not. Hopefully it will. If not, we're gonna have to look at a censored motor. But I referenced, like I say, DoRC in his video, and he did the update on his Max 5 G2, and that solved all the issues, and the same issues that I was having myself. So stay tuned, I'll definitely update you, but for now, the cheaper Quicrun 8bl150 G2 it wins hands down. That performed excellent, and if you look out for my next video when I'm running the Suga with the upgrades, you'll see how really well this run it. Even with 17 tooth pinion, it absolutely so impressed with this Hobbywing Quicrun 8bl150. Great ESC, fantastic budget ESC for the money. Can't recommend it highly enough. At the moment, I cannot recommend this. If you buy it with the censored motor, then you shouldn't have any problems, but obviously I'm having issues with this at the moment. Thank you for watching. Remember to comment if you've got any solutions or anything like that, or something that I've missed, or something you think it may be. Please don't hesitate to comment below. Remember to put those like buttons if you do like. If you don't like, then put the down thumbs. That's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for watching. Happy RCing.